Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Hope you're having an awesome day. And I'm back with another video. This time is Decepticon Nemesis, and as you can see, it is a pretty big box. I'm actually very happy to have this because I do have the Arc, and I have been looking forward to getting this one. I have had it in my collection for a couple of weeks now, but again, I just got around to uh, trying to open this up. But awesome artwork right there. Legacy Evolution, again, bringing us more G1 goodness. You see the arc right here. You see the Nemesis shooting at it. Artwork wise, I believe this is Thundercracker or maybe just a random Seeker. Maybe Ramjet Thrust. So maybe some cone heads flying around. Looks you got a Tetrajet here. So definitely cool artwork there showing the Nemesis in all its glory. Again, Legacy Evolution. There's the actual figure. It's a pretty big box. And of course, as being a Transformer, he has to transform. Me being more of a G1 person, of course, the Nemesis never transformed. But again, it's pretty cool that they can bring aspects to it because I do think that the figure itself in his artwork looks really, really cool. And then back here, of course, you see the product itself. There's a Nemesis in robot mode. Looks like you do get some smaller little figures in just plain old black plastic to perhaps put it around the Nemesis when it's in ship mode. And of course, here's the ship mode, looking really cool, very G1-esque, which is the main reason why I want to get this, to pair it up with my Arc. And again, the little things that you can do with it, like flipping down the ramp, the little wings or whatever, that it looks like you can use wings as a gun and as a weapon. I guess that's part of their whole Evo Fusion thing. But definitely looking forward to opening this up and putting this together and show you what it's all about. All right, so just in case anyone's interested, this is exactly what it looks like inside of the box. I still have to go through and take all these things out. I'm sure that'll be fun. There's the instructions speaking out. A lot of cardboard to protect the Nemesis here. So it looks like, they do a good job of packaging this up to avoid any damage. As you could see, it's in pieces. So looks like I am going to have to do some kind of putting it together so it can look like the ship right there. But yeah, just want to share that with anyone out there that may be interested. All right, guys, so fresh out of the box here, got the Nemesis put together for the most part. Just want to give you guys a bit of a look. I have it here placed horizontally. I don't have a stand on this guy quite yet. I need to order one to be able to sort of pose it on a horizontal pose, but so far so good from the first impressions. When you do get this out of the box, you will need to do some assembly. So essentially this whole top portion here where you see the Decepticon symbol, which is really nice. It's nicely detailed there and sculpted. This whole piece comes separate. So you're gonna need to attach this in very easy, just snaps into place. No big deal. Also, these two wings here on the side, on what's essentially the left and the right, also need to be snapped in. Again, it wasn't anything too big. You kind of just snap them in and they fit in place. And then these little winglets here, which also serve as the weapons in robot mode, need to be snapped in. And these can come in and out, but they're tabbed in really, really well here. A couple other things that you do get, you guys will notice here, there's some ports and sections here for tabs. Same thing here on the front. So part of what you do get is you get this little, what I call a weapon rack. So the cool thing is you get all these cannons, all this artillery that will go attached pretty much here and throughout here. And the really cool thing is that will allow these to sort of pivot in place, right? Turn around and have some posability there, which the Arc didn't have. The cannons on the Arc are fixed in place. So in this case, that's where I think they made an improvement for the Nemesis here. And the other cool thing, as you could see here, you get a couple of little micro Decepticons here, right? Here it looks like these two guys are cone heads. So I think maybe Ramjet and Thrust. And we've got two Seekers here. We've got the Seeker Decepticon from, I'm assuming, Siege. It looks like the Tetrajet maybe. And then of course we got a Seeker here in Earth mode. So that's really cool. They give you these, and these have little holes or tab sections to get attached in different places like that and that. And I think I saw a couple more here and here. So that's really cool. They give you that option. Another piece that goes up here, I haven't put it in yet, is because one of the turrets has to go here. It's this little part of what I'm assuming is some kind of antenna, or maybe the cockpit part. This is more of a soft plastic thing. I'm assuming it's to avoid maybe injury. I wish I would have made this a little harder plastic. The paint's not too bad, but essentially this goes in this top part here. I haven't put it in yet because, as you could see, there's a little port there to put in the turret, so I'm gonna have to put that in first. But again, first impressions right out of the box, I love this thing. The color is definitely awesome. You've got some nice black and silver and the little red arrow details, and you know, the dark purple with the pink there, and some of the black that's there is really, really cool so far. So I'm gonna get this guy put together and put in a better angle, and then we'll sort of go from there. Okay, so here we are back with the Nemesis completely out of the box. I've put it together, and first impressions are very, very positive on this thing. A couple of things. This does come in a couple of pieces in the box. I mean, the main body itself is already put together, but this section up here where you see the Decepticon symbol, there is some assembly here where you have to snap that in place and fold it down. No biggie. Same thing with these wings over here on each side, on the left and the right. You do need to snap these in place and sort of get them in there so that they sit as you see them now, kind of flush. And then these front sections here, these little winglets that I'm pointing at, these also snap into place and they can come on and off. I believe they're also part of the robot mode. These can be used as weapons. And if you could see this little cockpit or tower section here, this part also needs to be stepped in. This is made out of softer plastic. I'm assuming it's because, I guess, just to avoid any kind of anyone getting hurt. So this is softer plastic in comparison to the rest of the ship. You also do get all these little gray cannons. They come in like a little weapon rack. You have to take them off. So you get 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This can come off. So if you wanted to take them off, you can. You can see it there. They're really nicely detailed and they pop in. The cool thing about this is that these are movable, right? Just because we attach them, you can move them left and right. The ones on the side here are a little constrained just because of where they're at. But these here you can place them pretty much any direction you want them to. So that's really cool. There's another cannon up here. So you do get 6 of them. Additionally, part of this whole little micro pack section is on the sides, both on the left and the right, you have this section here that opens. And when you open this up, there's a little ramp there, which you can then pull out. And in here, you get 4 little Decepticons, little micro Decepticons, I'm going to call them. So if you could see them, there is a Tetrajet here. It's really tiny, but it's really cool. And they have these little tabs where you can attach them here to this ramp to make it look like they are about to take off. And again, you get 4 of them. You get let's see if I could lift this for you. A Tetrajet there on the left, and Earth mode. You know, that could be a Seeker, any of them, but that's really cool. And you can pop them into here, and essentially the ramp does move up and down. And then once you're done, you can essentially move this in to the inside and close this door, and you're done. And then same thing here on this side. You can lift this section up and just have the ramp here sort of fall out and fold it down. And in here, you've got these look like cone heads to me, so ramjet and thrust based on those modes. But again, they could be anyone considering they're gray plastic. But again, really cool. You can take these out and sort of put them like they're about to sort of take off from the Nemesis here. And again, you can just, you know, put the ramp back in and do all that. But again, really cool so far. The other cool thing is that you can do is, I don't have a flight stand for this. I am planning. I'm looking around for flight stands. I do have an acrylic one that I got for the Arc. So I may be looking for something similar here for the Nemesis. But this wing down here, that's really cool, is they allow you to fold this out. So that way it can sit pretty much flat with this rounded section here. So even if you don't have some kind of flight stand, you can place it, you know, on your shelf like this. I guess the other way you could do it is you could also place it horizontally if you want. This wing sections here, like I said, is they do split apart, so you guys could see it there. They split apart and they come, then you can sort of snap them together at that point. So you could then look something like this, which there's some nice detailing there with that pink and dark purple. Speaking of details, there are quite a few in here. So you guys could see some nice black with silver and a red arrow. That looks really cool. I'm glad we didn't get any stickers with this set. On the back as well, you've got some, I guess, the engines of the turbines or the exhaust, whatever you want to call them. Here you've got some gray plastic, but it's got some nicely blue detailing here on the back, so that's really cool. See if I can get this in a better view here. Let's split this up and put her flat. Here we go. The Decepticon symbol is really nicely sculpted, so that's really cool. This is it pops out, right? So it's got a 3D feel to it. Really cool that they did that. Of course, you got the pink detailing here, or whatever we call it, purple or whatever, rose. But the darker purple, the tone that they've used in this ship is really awesome. You've got some gray detailing here on the back, but you've got all these little details all throughout the ship, all these line work. So it's certainly not just plain old purple, but it's all over the ship. So again, it looks very cool in hand, in person. Again, moving up here to, I guess, what's closer to the bridge for the ship here. You've got some red detailing and some gray and silver. Again, really cool. You got the red like clear plastic windows there, and you've got the bridge here, of course. But and again, mostly all purple, but all the different paint details and paint apps are done, I think, for the most part, really well. You guys could see there's some details there on the side. So certainly not plain by any means. Here's the bottom. And in ship mode, she looks really cool. And this is the back here. But yeah, I mean, ultimately I bought this thing specifically for the ship mode. I am going to be displaying this specifically with the Arc, either together or off to the sides, but mainly in the ship mode. Now, the one bonus for me is that this does transform. So it'd be really cool out there for the folks that would like to display this in robot mode. You can do that. So I'll attempt to go through that in a bit. As far as articulation, there's really not much other than what I showed you, the wing here that splits apart to allow you to place this flat. The wings back here, you can fold these in. These are part of the transformation, but in ship mode, they kind of just sort of sit straight like that. I mean, you can angle them if you wanted to. The instructions say to place them up and down straight up. And that's really it, pretty much. But I mean, it's the Nemesis, right? It's a Decepticon ship. I never thought we'd get this kind of figure, so it's really cool to get this in here nonetheless. Pretty awesome. So I'm going to attempt to go through the transformations and figure out how this guy works. Oh, okay. So we are going, or I'm going to attempt to do this transformation for you guys. I can tell you from having done it a couple of times now using the instructions, I'm not a big fan of it. I also did find out that I guess some of the plastic, especially around these wing areas, are made softer on purpose, right? Because they do need to fit in certain places a little better. So this top, bottom, and then some of these side wings are made of shall we say, softer plastic than something like the cockpit or even the arms, etc. So just something to keep in mind. I mentioned that because I noted as I was transforming this guy that, for example, here on this wing here, I don't know if you guys could see it. There you go. There's some bit of damage, and I don't know if this occurred during the in the box or while I was transforming it, but this is a little softer than I would have liked because as you could see, it looks a little mashed up there, which I guess in the longer term doesn't bother me too much, but just something to keep in mind. These wings are of softer plastic. So let's get started. First thing to do is open up this section here by the, I guess call this a bridge, and essentially get your fingernail in there and separate this section out. This is also a bit of a softer plastic, and just kind of leave that sort of hanging out. So same thing here, you're gonna get this out. These do swivel. That's mainly, again, once you get it a bit more in transformation, but you can use that to get the stuff out of the way. Next thing to do, and this is what I found a little hard, is you have to separate these two sections here out from this front section. So I'll show you in a second what I'm referring to. See if I could do it here. So you're doing something like that. So let's see if I could do it one at a time here. And you'll see here, there's a really strong ratchet there. These are essentially the arms, and then you have to do the same thing on this side. Make sure this is out of the way, and you can slightly start to separate this whole section here. And again, I'm trying to, there we go. Right, so once you kind of have this in place, separated like this, couple of things we need to do in here. This chest piece, you can, this is essentially the chest on the robot mode. You're going to take this and just flip it forward for now. You'll note that this thing gets in the way, so just leave it out. The other thing that you could do here is take this section and open it up. And here as well, you'll see the head here. So let's see if I can give you a better look. This is the head stored in essentially the bridge or the cockpit area. He's going to take this and pretty much flip it for now. You can just leave it like that. Then this thing, you'll see there's a, where my finger is at, there's a tab that's going to go in there. So it doesn't tab in, it kind of just sits in place. So you're just going to just sit it in place so it looks something like that. We're gonna leave this upper section, but you see it kind of starts taking form here as far as you know, the transformation step. So next thing to do is just perhaps start getting these little winglets out of the way, these plastic pieces. Just tab them in to the wings on both sides. Same thing here. And next thing to do is to work on these wing sections. So this bottom one, and this is actually the one that comes as a separate piece that you have to tab in. So essentially you are going to lift this up from the rest of the ship. So let's see if I can do this here. You're going to separate it. It is well held in place. These has like some of the bigger tabs that I've ever seen on a transformer. So these and these tab into these sections here, right? So now take this, have it sitting like this, and you're gonna turn this way, right? So for now, you're gonna be left with something that looks like that. We need to ensure then this will get tabbed into the back, but as you could see right now, you're looking at something that looks like this, right? So we're gonna take, and this is where you see on the waist here, you see this? We're gonna turn just this portion around for now. We can get this out of the way by turning it, but essentially you're gonna take this. And there are some pretty strong ratchets on this thing, especially the arms that I had to pull apart. So now what this allows you to do then, it's a couple of things. Mind you, I'm trying to do this with one hand. You can then take this and try to get it down there. And you can take the head up here and just make sure it kind of sits in place really good. At that point, you could tab it down. You're good. Next steps. We can leave the head down there for now. You can leave the chest. You can now take this section here. Two things. This here has to go into this section here. And this grooved section here on the back of the bridge or cockpit, whatever you want to call it, is going to get tabbed in here. So essentially you're going to take this and make sure that square fits in there. And then you're going to take this pink part here and make sure it goes into there. It takes a bit of force. Okay, got that in. Once you're insecure, then what you could do is separate these wings here and have them go out this way. And then you're kind of done with this back part. You kind of see something like this. Now, the legs for me are what was the trickiest here. And that's where I'd started getting a little annoyed with the softer plastic, but it at least sort of worked for me eventually. So at this point, you could take this chest piece and you could tab it in. It'll kind of it's a section here. Just hear that you push the head down. Make sure the arms, the shoulders are all the way down, and that these are that way you could fit the head. It could sit in there, nice and neat. All right, so as you can see, as I fumble my way through this transformation. Next thing is let's attempt to do these legs. Alrighty, so a couple of things here. You're gonna have to separate these. So again, this plastic is really soft, so just be really careful with trying to apply too much force. You might end up scratching it or something. So you do this. Then what you could do once you separate the wings is you could pry the legs apart. So you'll separate them as such. And then over here is where we get a bit of the tricky part. But you know what? Let's do something here while we do this. So the legs here, these also do separate. This is where, again, I had a bit of an issue because my wings on this sides are really loose. So separate them as best as you can, being really careful. And you'll see, for now, just leave them loose. Then, just moving out of the way. These also spin, so you can slightly lift them up from here and spin them around. So I would lift them up, spin them. At some point you're gonna get to here, so you're gonna have to slightly lift this and set it in place. Once you do that, then essentially there will be a tab here where your wings are gonna attach, and it's on both sides. So you're gonna take one wing and attach it there, and another wing and attach it there. And then that kind of sits in place. And then the same thing here. So you're gonna take essentially these, you're gonna slightly pull it out so you could turn it. When you get to a point where you can't go in them anymore, just lift it slightly, and there we go. And then you're gonna take these, as I said, separate them nice and easy, and they're gonna tab in again here to this section here. So same thing. So now you're kind of done with this, and this is actually the front of the feet. So just something for you to keep in mind, because the next thing is, as you're doing this, the feet are actually in here. They're stuck in there somewhere. So you're gonna take these and pull it out, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna make sure, since this is the front of a foot and this is the front of the shin, you have to make sure that this faces this way. Same thing here. You're gonna take this, and then you're gonna make sure that this faces that way. Now, additional things. I don't know if you could see in there, the leg, it's in there. So you're gonna have to take this and separate it, and the leg should come out. So, right. So it's, again, something to keep in mind is the fact that this is the front. So you see this pink piece here. So we're gonna take this and just with the leg out of the way, turn it so that you're looking at something like that. Right. All right, so here we go. Now you can take essentially this leg. You'll see here, because you'll be able to tell that these need to sort of meet. So take this leg and turn it so that they match like that. Now you can take this whole leg and essentially have it go in there. So you're looking at something like this. So same thing here. You're gonna take these sections here of the leg. You're gonna turn it, and then you're gonna have them go in like that. So this thing's pretty big, so you'll see it's very unwieldy to try and do this, especially one-handed. Next thing is to, then you'll see she's pretty hollow back here. So these wings are gonna fill out the rest. So you can do that and then also fold them in. There are sections here on the legs where these kind of fit in with that, and that's where that's gonna sit, and then it's gonna sit in there nice and neat. You're also going to take this and fold it in. So same thing here. You're going to take this, fold it all the way in, and then take this, make sure it's all nice and neat, tabbed in there, and then just turn this way like that. So at that point, you're kind of done with the with the legs. These panels, as I said, these are the smaller wings on the sides. Make sure they stay tabbed in. On mine, they're a little loose, and plus doing the transformation is a little, I guess, hard to handle. But you should then end up with something that looks like that from the leg standpoint. So next thing would be to attempt to do the arm. So I'm going to attempt to do this here. So essentially the arms, this is the front of the ship, right? This is the bottom of it and the front. So you're going to take these sections here. You're just going to take this round part and just separate it from the rest of the arm. And then at that point, you'll be left with something that looks like that. So you're going to do the same thing here. You're going to take this and separate it out from the arm. This is pretty easy. And at that point, you start to see this thing come together. So a couple of things that you need to do here. There is a panel on the inside here, on the inside of these arms, where you need to pull this out. So pull it out like this, and then that'll allow you to see the hand there. So you take this, not all the way yet, because one of the things you need to do is you need to be able to turn this hand without any interference, right? So that it faces this way. And then once you get the hand in place, you can close the panel or whatever you need to do like that. So I'll show you the hand on this one too. So as I said, you open this panel up, then that will allow you to see the hands. And then you take this, you spin it around. And now you need to give yourself some clearance so that you could spin this hand around. So like that, so that it's facing the right way. And then you can close this panel and then you're good to go. And then these are the hands. The last thing, and I thought it was probably about the coolest thing for me, probably one of the few things that I like about this transformation, has to do with the upper portion here. So I will attempt to do this with one hand. This is probably the best part about this whole transformation, is the fact that this chest here can you separate these two sections here, and boom, Decepticon insignia. That's really cool. And these you could just separate, and you have to hear a little click. But good, now you're there. And the last cool thing is, and this is something that I thought was pretty cool. So now onto the head. So here you are going to push these out. So that opens up the face here. These two side panels to the side, slightly down. And then you're then going to take the eyes here, these panels here, and move them up. Right, so move them up like that, and then you see the full face with the eyes. So at that point, you're kind of pretty much done. All right, guys, so we're done transforming this thing. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching me fumble with it. It's a little hard when you're kind of just using your phone to, transform something so huge. I'm not a fan of the transformation on this thing at all. I'm actually really happy that for the most part, I will be keeping this in the Nemesis mode, in the ship mode. But I will say the robot mode is really, really cool. It's very unique. I love the way the chest opens up to reveal the Decepticon insignia. I definitely love that face, right? The eyes, the side pieces that sort of open up to reveal more of the face, the eyes. The crown here, obviously this is very, it's the Decepticon symbol. But the crown, I'm going to call it a crown, but the upper portion here of her head, definitely Galvatron vibes there with the whole top portion. I don't know, it reminds me a lot of it. But here you can get to see a lot more of the red detailing. That was essentially, this is the front part of the ship. You guys can see the cannons here. Same thing here, etc. So hands, you do get the fingers are kind of all stuck together, so you don't get individual finger articulation, but they do move, right? She can have a fist, or you know, she can reach out or whatever. Same thing on this side. Really cool. You could see here the mechanism for the ramps, right, where the little micro figures were sitting in that mode. So that's something, again, that's really cool. The legs, surprisingly enough, I do like the way they look. I just don't like that, at least on mine, these panels on these sections here are loose, and they tend to come apart. These are softer plastic than the legs that they get that are attached to, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But I think this thing has a very unique presence. It almost reminds me of like someone took, like, I don't know, robots in disguise, animated some of the Siege stuff, G1, and amalgamate it into what you're looking at here. But it looks really nice. It's very unique. I'm not a fan of the transformation. I hate it. I hate the transformation. But as far as once you get into robot mode, it looks really cool. The colors are there, really nice. One thing I do not like, in addition to transforming this thing, is the fact that these panels here just kind of go hanging out on the side. They're just sort of there. They don't have any place to go. So yeah, they just kind of sit there. She very stable. As you guys saw me earlier fighting with the ratchets and all that. So you're not going to have any issues with her falling apart or back. Here's some side profile here. And I think the back, for the most part, cleans up really well. She's got some wings. Reminds me of Astra Train with the wings on the back. You can see a lot of the innards and the paneling. But, you know, again, when if you're going to display this in robot mode, you're more than likely not have it face this way. But again, for me, the stronger parts are definitely this chest piece. Love the Decepticon symbol. Love the head. Again, really cool looking head there. As you could see, you could turn it fully around, you know, and look up quite a bit, actually. Can't really look down that much just because of the way it's assigned. These arms do fully turn around, but because of the pointy nature, they're going to get in the way of the wings. But again, these, again, you know, I think for a figure this big, you know, it's got great postability. But, you know, the forearms, the elbows, you know, you are going to get the hands do turn, so you can move them. Again, as I said, the fingers are articulated, even though they're all stuck together. Trying to give you some waist view here, so you can turn this around. It's got some ratchets in it, so that's really cool. She can kick forward that much. Then you got the knee articulation, so you've got some good knee articulation. On the ankles here, there is some ankle tilt here, but nothing too crazy, but enough for something, I think, this big. Right, and but then you also have extra articulation here. Right, some nice thick ratchets. So this thing is, you know, it's not gonna get loose anytime soon. But I will tell you again, having had the time to look at this mode more, I do enjoy it. I just don't enjoy the steps that it takes to get here. But the details there, this thing is awesome. I do prefer this robot mode to the Arc mode. So I think the Nemesis has the slightly better mode, other than the fact that these things are kind of just hanging in there. Now, a couple of things that you can do. You see these sections up here, these winglets. You can pull these out and she can hold them, I guess, kind of looks like an axe or a weapon. I'm not going to use that. And same thing here. You can essentially remove these wings from the shins here, and they can become guns that again she can hold. I won't be doing that. I have really no need for any of that stuff. But I will say, if you're displaying this thing in robot mode, this thing is awesome. I love how the color, the pink to red, it all matches up pretty well. Absolutely, absolutely. I think this is probably the better between this and the Arc. This one it's certainly much better. My more preferred one. Okay, so just some comparisons here is Galvatron. This is from the movie, the Transformers movie. But again, just want to show the size difference or discrepancy there. Again, just to show what a figure that size will look like. And when I mentioned earlier that her head kind of reminded me of Galvatron's, is those three prongs kind of always remind me of a crown, which also reminds me of the head on Nemesis, which again is the Decepticon symbol, but really cool. And here is the Nemesis next to the 3-0 premium scale Optimus Prime from the Bumblebee movie. Again, non-transforming toy, but this is the much bigger one than the deluxe, so it's a pretty good size. And just want to compare them. Obviously, one has nothing to do with the other than they're both in a Transformers lore. But just want to show you guys there the size comparison where the Nemesis is still a little taller than, you know, the premium scale Optimus. All right, so here's Nemesis next to a combiner. This is Titan's Return Predaking. He does have some upgrades, but nothing that adds height. But again, just want to show them both together. Nemesis is again much bigger robot-wise than the Predator here. So here we are with the last comparison. Here we have the Menasor, which is this is from the newer Legacy line, along with a Masterpiece figure. You see Shockwave there. But again, just for a size comparison, not that, again, they're nowhere near, you know, in the same scale or anything, but just want to show for anyone that may be interested there in the size difference. Okay, so as we head here toward the end of the video, I just want to show both the Arc and the Nemesis in their ship mode here together. This is how I will be displaying these two in my collection, and it's the main reason why I got these. To me, the fact that they are transforming into the robot modes is a nice bonus, a nice plus, but for me specifically, I got the Arc, so it could be in ship mode, and same thing here with the Nemesis. I think in these two modes, I do prefer the Arc a little better, but the Nemesis does have things, it does some things a little better, like having these turrets here that actually swivel and rotate. So that's a huge plus in my book, whereas these are kind of fixed in place. So apparently, you know, obviously they learned from having done that. But I guess I'm just a Autobot fanboy, so that I prefer this one slightly. But this one's great in this mode. Some of, I guess, my concerns or things that I would be, I guess, a bit of a complaint is the softer plastic that's used in these wings here, here and also on the bottom, and then here also on the sides. I'm assuming because it's softer plastic interacting with these harder plastics. Some of these wings here on the side on mine are a little loose, so I do have to, you know, sort of put them in place a little better. And also this softer plastic seems to get damaged fairly easy in comparison to, you know, this harder plastic. Those would be my complaints about this mode. But other than that, I mean, the ship, you know, is definitely very G1, which I appreciate and I love. And the robot mode on this guy, I will say, as I mentioned earlier, definitely I think the Nemesis has a better robot mode in my eyes. I absolutely did not like the transformation on Nemesis. You know, I don't know, just something about it. Maybe it was a mixture again of dealing with the panels and the plastics and maybe even the size. But once you do get into that robo mode, it's definitely very worth it. But anyway, I think I've rambled on long enough. If I missed anything, feel free to leave a comment. If you have a question, always willing to help out. But if you made it to the end, again, thank you so much for putting up with me through that harrowing transformation of this guy. But thank you so much again for your very valuable time, and I will see you next time. Take care.